Emma Murphy would tell me, he said, Todd, I think you'd beat up your own grandma in the ring. You're so mean. Because in the ring, I'm a very mean person. Outside the ring, I'm a nice guy, a very approachable person, but inside the ring, stay away from me. Hi, my name is Todd Foster. I'm an ex-professional boxer.
Todd Foster set it up with the shot to the body, and then connected on John. It's all over.
I was born in 1967 in Missoula, Montana. I stayed there till I was like 3 or 4, something like that. I moved to Great Falls and lived my life in Great Falls, so I moved to Houston, Texas when I was 21 after the Olympics. Then I had 2 kids there. I was always planning to move back to Montana after my pro career was done. I did that, then here we are now. I started boxing when I was 8 years old. My dad got transferred to Malta, Montana when I was 8 with the Montana Power Company, who he was working for. And when I was there, a kid named Brant Young, he was a boxer himself. He said, hey, you want to try out for boxing? I'm like, sure. Didn't know what boxing was. So I told my dad. My dad got excited, bought me a sweatsuit. I'm like, this must be for real because my dad's cheap. He ain't buy no sweatsuit for nothing.
Hi, my name is James Brant Young, and I grew up in Malta, Montana, and Todd and I were best friends in grade school. I had already been boxing, and I told Todd, you got to come down and come boxing. And he came down, and from day one, he just loved boxing and just didn't look back, didn't slow down, obvious.
So my dad bought me a sweatsuit, and I tried it out. Went down to the boxing gym the first night and knocked some kids down, and I loved boxing, and I just took it from there.
I got to know Todd about 3 years ago through another friend of mine. We started to golf together, and it didn't take long for me to realize what an athlete Todd really is. We probably golfed 50 times last year together. And one thing I will say about Todd is when he hits his tee shot, it's kind of like he hit his opponents back in the day. Really hard. Just a great guy.
But I hadn't talked to Todd or seen him in probably 30 years, and I had went to Great Falls to a Tough Man contest. Todd was doing an exhibition there, and when he got done with the exhibition, he come walking along the crowd signing autographs. And I was like, hey Todd, hey, how you doing? And he was looking at me, Brant? And I said, yeah. He was just like, we didn't miss a beat. And, no matter how famous or how well known Todd had become by, being in the Olympics and being pro, he still was just Todd Foster. He was just a great guy, and that is just something honorable, something to be said. And I just couldn't say enough about Todd that way.
In 1977, I was 9 years old. We moved back from Malta to Great Falls, Montana, and I lived in this house right here. When I moved back to Great Falls, I was boxing at the YMCA, which is where the Hardee's is now by the Gibson Park. Dean Comerick, my dad always trained me. My dad, Vern Foster, has always been in my corner. My mom, Vicky Foster, has always been in my corner. My mom, my brother, and my sister, Brian and Jamie, have always been, my whole family's always been behind me. Dean Comerick was the coach there. Then, when I was about 13, moved to another gym, and Emma Murphy was the coach there. And we traveled around. We were at the Murphy McClay building between Central and First South. Then we went to Little Russell, Franklin School. Then ended up at the Gibson Park. At the end of my career, this is the gym I used to train at here, the Paris Gibson Park.
Hello, I'm Dan Francis. I have known Todd Foster for about 50 years. We grew up in the same neighborhood. We were really, really close friends. We ended up going to Franklin Elementary School together, and then West Junior High, and then we both went to CMR. And the one thing I'd like to say about Todd is a very, very genuine person. He was very, very easy to get along with, and even through, his fame and boxing career, and whenever we would cross paths with each other, it was just like we never missed a beat. I mean, we were always really close friends.
Yeah. They talking like they don't know a king when they see one. See him in person, he take it back like a refund. Ballin' with my brothers, all my playing D1. Daily checking chicken, he gon' spin it watching reruns. Say they real, but they clones of me. How my cousin in the pen with more phones than me.
9 years old, and we moved to the west side, and I went to Franklin Elementary School, 4th, 5th, and 6th. Then 7th grade went to West Junior High. For high school, I went to CMR. When I was in grade school, middle school, and high school, I played all sports, football, basketball, baseball. I did track. I did wrestling. When I was in 9th grade, I won the all-around athlete trophy.
Hi, my name is Tracy. Todd Foster trained me in the summers because I played college basketball. He kept me in shape, always cared about how I was doing and making sure I was ready to go when I went back to college. He will give you the shirt off his back, literally that kind of person, 100% honest, help you in whatever way you need. And for me, it was watching him be successful that wanted to make me be successful. And he was just is such a great person to have in my life for so many reasons.
I was 17 when my high school graduation. In 1985, I was 17. Me and my dad went to Little Rock, Arkansas for the National Golden Gloves. I fought 5 fights there, won 4 of them, then lost in the championship to Vincent Phillips from the Army. And so I took second when I was 19, went to Knoxville, Tennessee for National Golden Gloves, won 5 fights, all 5 of them, and won the National Golden Gloves when I was 19. It was a great week for me, and I felt great. I did good, and I met Kenny Weldon, who was, to me, the best boxing coach ever. When I met him, it was my first fight at the National Golden Gloves. I fought a kid from Dallas, Texas, who was an ex-national champion. And I dropped him 2 times, and he got up, and I beat the crap out of him for 3 rounds. And after that, Kenny Weldon followed me back to the dressing room and said, hey, I like the way you fight. When you're done with this, I want you to come to Houston so I can train you. And I said, okay. So a couple of nights go by, I keep winning. He follows me back to the dressing room again and says, hey, win or lose, remember, you're coming to Houston with me. I said, well, I'm going to win this thing.
Growing up with Todd was fun. You know, what a lot of people don't realize is, you know, Todd at an early age started boxing, and what a lot of people don't realize is what a great athlete he was. Not only boxing, but I mean, basketball, baseball, football, golf. I mean, this kid could do it all. You know, he chose to sacrifice those other sports for boxing, which turned out to be a good thing. You know, when Todd, after high school, we kind of all went our different ways, and Todd ended up in the Olympics. Man, it was something else.
I won the Olympic trials. I qualified. They sent me to the Olympic box office in Vegas. My whole family got to go. The city of Great Falls, the state of Montana, raised like $20,000 and sent my mom and dad, my brother and my sister to the Olympics.
Before I went in, Coach Adams told me, now you got the horn, you don't have the bell, so be aware of that.
When I came back from the Olympics, I remember flying in. We flew in late at night. I think it was like 11 or 12 at night. When we got to the airport was filled with little kids and adults, and the whole airport was just full of people saying, I lost you. You're just on my side.
Hi everyone, I'm John Enot. I've known Todd for about 30 years. Todd and I did a lot of fishing and a lot of golfing and a lot of hunting, and we just had a lot of wonderful times over the years. And Todd's just a great guy. He has a huge heart, and the one thing that stands out to me with Todd is even in the height of his career, he never put himself above anybody. It didn't matter how young or how old or where he was at. He always took the time to show his appreciation to his fans, and just everybody loved Todd. I mean, he just always had a smile on his face, and he was just a great guy to be around.
Hi, my name is Jim Califat. I was born and raised here in Great Falls, Montana. I still consider Montana my home. And when I think of Todd Foster, wow, it just gives me chills to think what a stud, what a hell of an athlete he was, and such a great person today. I've known Todd for about 30 years. The story that comes to mind for me is my dad, who went to Washington State on a football and boxing scholarship. My dad also was a Golden Gloves champion. And I remember my dad telling our entire family, watch that Todd Foster, because he's going somewhere and he's going to be professional someday. And certainly that's what happened.
My first pro fight was here in Great Falls at the Four Seasons Arena. I fought Chris Alvarado from Phoenix, Arizona. It was my first pro fight, so I was 0-0. He was 13-5. Had already gone 10 rounds, and knocked him out in the third round. it was a big show. I mean, the people were great. Good time.
It was always such a joy to watch Todd fight. I don't know how many punches he threw a fight, but I think he set records for how many punches, but he just had a motor that was unbelievable, and he just was relentless, and he just kept attacking and attacking and attacking, and you know, the crowd would always go crazy, and it was just so much fun to watch him fight, and we really had a lot of wonderful times attending all of his fights.
I retired boxing when I was 30 years old, and then I started feeling repercussions from my brain injury when I was like 50 years old. Probably before then, but in my mind, I was all right. Everybody would ask me, "Hey, are you all right, Todd?" "Yeah, I feel fine. What's wrong? Am I acting crazy or something?" "No, you're just shaking a lot." Like, "No, I'm sorry, I didn't feel that."
When I look at Todd and my own life, I see so many parallels. We both went to the same elementary, junior high, high school. We grew up on the west side of Great Falls, and we both became professional athletes. I was an athlete, I played in the NFL, I played up in Canada, was on American Gladiators. I had my fair share of brain injuries and concussions, and I look at Todd's life and I see where he is today, and he's struggling. He's a young man at 56 years old, and no one should go through what he's going through. And unfortunately, it was before anyone knew about concussions, and particularly in what I'm thinking is CTE, which is chronic traumatic encephalopathy. And trust me, I'm no doctor and don't pretend to be one, but I myself, I'm in the Boston University brain study, also the Legacy Concussion Foundation, where you donate your brain to science upon death. And from this, the Brain Unite also is another repository with largest brain studies in the world, and they're finding out more and more about CTE.
And protocol says to stay out of the gym, stay away from the contact for at least 30 days to help your brain, get better. I guess what I'm trying to tell you is, if you take a break in between fights, it'd be a lot better for your brain if your brain gets damaged at all. When I was looking for a road to recovery, I ran into a friend of mine, Julie Calfett, at a golf tournament, and she said, "Hey Todd, I have something that's gonna help you." I said, "What's that?" She said, "A hyperbaric chamber." I said, "I'll try anything." So after that, she called me. After a few days after that, she called me to go over to the house to try the hyperbaric chamber. And I went over there and tried it, and I didn't feel nothing the first day, second day, third day. Pretty soon I started feeling better and better. So I ran into Kevin Moore and John Biggert from the Brain Injury Alliance, and I told them I needed a hyperbaric chamber. They said, "Okay, we'll see what we can do for you." And they got sponsors for me, and the people of Montana helped me buy this. They helped me. They bought this hyperbaric chamber for me, and I appreciate that.
What I've found with Boston University and the Concussion Legacy Foundation that I'm involved in is that they give you the resources and they give you the help And I've talked to Todd several times about trying to get involved with some of these programs. I think it's going to help him, because anybody that is going through some of these TBIs, which is traumatic brain injuries, if they can find some resources and the tools to help with some of the cognitive decline, such as what he found out with the hyperbaric chamber. If we can all come together as a community and as a group, and for anyone that happens to watch this documentary, if we can reach out to Todd, give him those services, give him the tools, the education to help him fight the fight, because that's what Todd needs. And I know I'm going to do whatever I can to help Todd. And so we'll see you on the other side of the ring. And until then, help Todd fight the fight.
Well, after I retired from boxing, I turned to drinking alcohol. I did that for quite a few years. And I finally quit that 4 years ago when Billy right about the same time, Billy Wagner asked me to train for, he's turned pro. So I trained Billy for 4 years now. And now I'm a coach at the Electric City Boxing Club. I think the kids are excited that I'm here because they've learned a lot. The ones that listen, they've learned a lot from me. I think the kids like to see me come here.
I have always really appreciated how the people of Montana, people in his community, and especially so people in the fighting sports and health realm have supported my father over the years. But they do that not only because of his professional knowledge and his, career experience, but also because of the content of his character, and that being mainly how he treats other people. He always puts other people first, and he really cares about people. And I think that is, something that I aspire to be like my dad every day.
Some of the fewest moments that I remember from Todd's boxing journey, I was in elementary school and he came out to my school out in Dutton, Montana, and did a boxing seminar and discussed all his journeys with boxing and how he led up to being a professional boxer. And then fast forward as time goes on, now we're hanging out. We used to party all the time, and now we're going to bingo. We go hang out all the time, go on adventures. You're a great friend, you're a wonderful role model. You would do anything for anybody, whether they're struggling, they need help. I wish for your future you are doing amazing out in this world. You teach all these young children how to box, and you're a great model for these younger children that are wanting to get into boxing, and they will look back on you as a legend.
Since I retired from boxing, I took up golf. I walked my dog Lucky. I played poker. And I enjoy it all.
My name is Dana Force. This is a tribute to my buddy Todd Foster, who I've known longer than I could ever remember. One thing about Todd, as I need not tell you guys, is he's as authentic as they come. Todd is very trustworthy. He would jump in front of a moving van for someone he loves. Our families are based upon the same principles in life. He came from a great household, Vicky and Vern, just as I have my mom and dad. In fact, our parents call each other the prodigal sons. I'm Vern and Vicky's black son, Todd's, my mom and dad's, Harvey and Evelyn's white son.
Todd will always be my brother. We've had our ups and downs just like every good buddies have in life, but we always have each other's back. There's not a doubt in my mind.
Just want to thank you, Dad, for all the years you put in, bringing me to different tournaments and going to Washington to give me fights because I couldn't get fights in Montana. And you're just always there for me. Thank you.
Oh, well, it was easy, son, because you worked hard from the time you started. You put in a lot of hours. You'd run 2 blocks to the practice and you'd run home. And you'd go to bed, get up early. You'd had a paper route, you'd do that, go to school, do your work, come home, get ready for boxing. So you started out really wanting this really young, and you didn't deteriorate away from what your goals were. A lot of people the term they use, burnt out. You never got burnt out because it was an enjoyment to you because it was always a learning experience. And all the way along, what anybody taught you, you caught on quick, and you weren't ever afraid to ask when you could make other moves. You had some pretty good coaches along the way. Each one did their own step in how they helped you, but you were an excellent student of the game for them to teach because you were willing and wanted to do this. It was not just something for a fun thing. You got a lot of fun out of it, but you put so much into it, it became fun for you.
Some people know him as Todd Foster the boxer, Todd the kid Foster, hometown hero, Montana legend. Me and my family know him as so much more. He's the man that came into my life when I was 9 and never left. He has been a solid rock since the day that I met him. When I became a mom, he loved my girls like they were his own flesh and blood. He lives for those girls, and those girls absolutely love and adore their papa. He's just one of the best humans and so kind and thoughtful. I can't imagine where we'd be today without him.
I just want to take a few seconds to mention my mom, tell her I love her and that she was a big part of my career. I know my dad got most of the highlights and stuff because he was in my corner, but she was a boxing judge, amateur boxing judge, and pro boxing judge too, I believe. And she was one of the best judges out there. And I want to thank you, Mama. I love you.
Hey there, I'd like to thank everybody for watching the Todd Foster documentary. Wow, what an incredible job by Dylan Kumar. Very touching documentary. I know it brought a tear to my eye. I'm sure that it did to yours. Just to give you a little bit of a background, Todd and Dylan started out to do a 4 or 5 minute production, and there was so much content and there was so much excitement, and it ballooned into about a 30-minute documentary. So at that time, Todd and Dylan approached my business partner Troy Fennings and I at the Halftime Sports Bar, and they were looking for sponsorships. And of course we were on board right away. But then after thinking about it, seeing the condition that Todd's in, I just felt like I wanted to do something bigger and better. So we've put together a GoFundMe page, and we've also put an account together at Stockman Bank. And to kick things off, Troy and I would like to donate $10,000. So if you could go out and contribute whatever amount that you can, it would be greatly appreciated. And at a minimum, if you could share with all your family and friends on all social media platforms, and let's all come together and let's help Todd fight the fight.